hard to get in tune.
We'll start this evening by invoking the spirit of that 12th century poet, Marin. And then if there's time, we'll visit with the madman James Ellis with some words. This night, there's no limit to what may be given. This is not a night, but a marriage. A couple, whispering in bed in unison, the same words. Darkness really brings down a curtain to allow this. It's called The Kingdom's Not Wearing Pants. Once upon a time, there was a kingdom that had fallen fast asleep. I say fast, but it had really taken a very long time. And by kingdom, I really mean planet. And by sleep, well, let's just say they were dangerously unaware. For in this kingdom, the organizing principle of the planet was lost to its people. Lost, I say. As treasure may be, buried somewhere. Now, the kingdom had not gone completely insane. They still knew their actions had physical consequence. But more importantly, one may say tragically, they no longer believed thought to be an action. The consequence of this was quite dramatic. For the consequence of thought was the organizing principle of the people's experience in this kingdom. And this organization, let me tell you friends, was magnificent. As it was consistent, as it was subtle. So subtle, in fact, that the people took no notice of it at all. Concentrating on themselves, they had experiences. Not noticing these experiences resembled previous experiences they'd given others. Action and reaction were understood on this planet, but only in the most basic physical context. So if one kicked a rock, it was with the intention the rock would move. But if one made another feel in love, he was unable to explain his own despair and feelings of being abandoned by the world. As I said, this organization was magnificent. It was constant. It was everywhere. So it was taken for granted. Also, with this organization, thoughts naturally became things. Understood by the people was that a person could imagine a triangular box beneath a rectangular box, and with an axe take action and manifest a log cabin. Misunderstood was why one could be thinking of a long-lost friend one moment, to then receive a phone call from that same friend the next. Or why a strange word, never before heard, once learned, could then appear repeatedly, whether beautifully or strangely, throughout a day or a year. These themes the people did not notice, perhaps chose not to notice, or explained away, or not explained at all, and were filed away in a catch-all category they called coincidence. A very large and general file, this. Large enough, in fact, that one could lose anything, really, one didn't want to look at. Again, the organization of this planet was magnificent, was omnipresent, and by appearances omniscient. so the organization could know the content of thought to then make it so. Though nobody noticed this, and so assigned this duty arbitrarily to some outside agency or deity, or ignored all causality categorically, and said there was no organization at all. However, there was an organization. In principle, in practice, and in the people's practice of their principles, they call them morals, they redeemed themselves accidentally, and showed understanding of this organization's third facet. Accidentally, I say. Well, they didn't understand it, what they did, what it meant, how it could represent a new experience for all their experience. And that was the curious custom of some to do no harm. As the experience received usually resembled some experience they give, so the people showed understanding by the vernacular and said, live and let live. Some did, not all. And the population that did was small, was unseen, or was a subtle amount, if at all. These thought holders, these subtle action takers, these experience givers. These were the new experience makers for a kingdom, fast asleep, mired in suspicion and superstition, mistrust, anger, and despair. The do-no-harmers were there, changing by acting on their little piece of kingdom called their surrounding, and said the following: we organize peacefully, subtly, as subtle force is powerful, as the most powerful force is subtle. So say we, so say me. And while subtle, the action of these people was more than zero. In this kingdom, though they are the hero. Thank you. Mr. Richard Morrison on the earaj.
This is a rainy season raga.
What another is taught, please, let me say again, a man of violence will come to a violent end. This law applies to all, my friend. Once you pick up a gun, it's begun. The physics of experience looks like a series of lessons in empathy. And sooner or later what I do to you is done to me. Back in the Arab Spring March, that good woman, Amy Goodman, and a radio show we all know, opened the window, reporting by phone, interviewing a Libyan freedom fighter. He, reporting his people's plight, he, a gunman, fresh from the fight, gave her a phone report to Amy and got an invite to return and return. Next phone interview to background sounds and staccato screams of being gunned down. That happened. A resistance fighter. Resisting changing. That vengeful pattern of reacting, returning violence with violence. A freedom fighter. Not yet free. Of mankind's pervasive, aggressive human tendency. It wasn't democracy then or now. It's strange. It's lunacy. This disconnect. This, you are not me! There's a human need to be free. How we serve this urge may not be serving us currently. And by the way, USA, A no-fly zone is an everyone-may-die zone, is a war zone, R4th and counting that day. I'm counting Pakistan. Yeah, man! Okay. There's a phrase that pays its practitioner 1,000-fold. No, it's old. Old and Sanskrit. To wit, you may say, know that giving is a selfish act. And do it anyway. For you, you forgive. For you, you forgive. For you, grasp the root. Something happens. Don't be lost in confusion. Mind ocean, mind-driven waves. Don't let the tide sweep you away. The mind is a nervous thief. The mind is a pure cheat. The ruin of sages, men, gods, the mind has 100,000 gates. Kabir, 15th century. 21st century. Have we been duped throughout history? I mean, seduced by a part of the body, by an organ. Have we fallen for a biological function? Are we in the grip of what is basically a bad relationship with our brain? What were you thinking? What would that look like? Oh, you're so in the know, brain, see? So clever. Look at that piece of memory. I love how you hold my spinal cord's hand. It's like you know everything. Your thought is my command. Are we humans conditioned? Is this contributing to what we're calling the human condition? Is it like a dysfunctional situation? Are we in love with something with a drug addiction? As power is addictive, as control a narcotic, are we just seeing a despotic reaction of a population smitten with a brain drunk on power? If so, what would a world on brain look like? Well, let me think about this for a moment here. To brain, less is not more. More is more. More knowledge, more experience, more tricks. The more brain has, the more brain is. It's an acquiring thing. Question. Would a world on brain buy and sell a bumper sticker with this refrain? He who dies with the most toys wins? Is that brain spin? I mean, having been given the reins, could an organ in our head, in over its head, out of control, desperately try and be recklessly driving the mess we're in? I'm just asking, friends. Moving forward, a new experience exists. Once one no longer identifies with the limited and sees the limitless. Listen to this. You're not your brain. You're not a limited collection of beliefs, attitudes, and opinions. You're not your personality. You're not your memory. You're not conflict, fear, or pain. You're You're something else. You're not your brain. The brain's a computer, an electrochemical microprocessor. It recalls things. It remembers things. It compares perception to itself, to memory. The brain tells you what it thinks is happening. Oh, really? What am I looking at now, brain? Hold on! Let me pull up a memory file. It's like this. And kind of like this. These are the past. Come on. Does that sound right? Far from exact. It's never been seen before what you're looking at. No. You can't trust memory. It's like watching TV and calling it reality. It's as though we go through life driving this car. Look into the rearview mirror to see where we are. Good luck with that. That's where we were. Okay, Plato called it shadows on a cave wall. Whatever. Get away from the mirror. Drive the car. And welcome to a new world. You're making history. Thank you.